We're getting ready to.
Okay, Dad, we're live, brother.
Fire with Dad.
So I got my popcorn / kettle corn because they're always saying to bring your popcorn and have a conversation. So I got some kettle corn. I've done some serious damage today. If you look over here, I haven't moved much from my little lazy boy.
Why is that?
I've been working. I mean, I work from here. This is on the other side of my office.
Well, I know I get that chair there.
Yeah, so it's relaxing sometimes to
There's
sit here.
your TV set there.
It was up there, but I took it down and take it to a trade show and never put it back up.
Mom wants to know how come Fire with Dad's not on her computer.
I'm not her IT person. I don't know. Let's look. I think we're live. It says we're live. Live on Facebook, Periscope, YouTube, and LinkedIn. Yeah, right there. Ask Mom if she paid her computer bill.
We're live, honey.
Okay, so Dad.
Yes.
Talk about a few things. Let's talk about some strategy. Let's talk about coming out of this time right now. And I'll tell you something I was talking about last night. I had a webinar. I think you joined last night that we were talking about all the coronavirus stuff.
With the 6 guys?
Yeah. The different loans available. You got the PPP loan. You got I think it's called EIDN loan. You've got the emergency disaster loan. You've got, the different things. Like they just announced May 1st is when Ohio is officially going to start coming out of this. They announced today. And so I think there's a couple things that crack me up that I think people it's a mindset thing. But I also can understand because if you're in the moment, if you're a small business owner, and like I talked to one today and he's actually going to work at his restaurant. He owns a burger joint and he's got 2 of them and one of them's closed. And the other one, he's actually one of 3 people working full time. And so he's stuck working day to day right now. But a lot of people can't get their head right to think about next month, the month after that. And I was talking to this same guy today and we were talking about the funds from the PPP loan because in the restaurant business, one of the concerns is like a guy said he's getting his loan tomorrow. He's got $200,000 coming tomorrow, 180 coming tomorrow, Friday. And he's like, Matt, we won't have our dining room back open for 2 weeks. What are your thoughts? And I said, well, here's my thoughts. The loan calls for you to re-employ people or to keep your employment levels. You don't have to employ your servers and waitresses and bartenders and busboys to wait on customers that don't exist. They can paint. They can fix stuff. They can landscape. They can market. I've already had companies that we work with that are like, hey, can we hire some of your employees or hire you guys to be on our payroll and help us do extra stuff you wouldn't normally do? I'm like, we can talk about it. You can hire different things. You're not necessarily rehiring your same employees to do the same exact job. If you've got servers that know how to do landscaping and painting, bring them in and make your restaurant look better because come May, come June, yes, that money isn't going to be used to help create income, but it can be used to create a better atmosphere that will have a better ROI in a month or 2. So I think that's
doing some other things. We could be doing some innovative things. Like for instance, I saw a guy on TV this morning. He went out and rented one of these trucks, and he's making 1 million hamburgers and hot dogs or whatever, taking them out and selling them on the street.
1 million?
Well, a bunch of them.
Oh, like, jeez, a lot of hamburgers.
Well, I'm saying he's going out and he's selling them. He's driving up like the Mr. Softy truck did.
Yeah.
And where he got the idea was Kona Ice.
There was somebody mentioned that to me the other day. That Kona Ice truck pulled up. I was like last night on the webinar.
That's what it was last night on the webinar.
So hold on, you're telling me something from my webinar, but you tuned it from barbecue sandwiches to burgers.
I thought I heard it this morning on the news, but maybe he had a guy this morning on the news though.
Are you sure it was on the news?
I don't know. I'm getting old. But they had a guy in the news. Just new ways to make money. Okay, one of the things you said last night, had a pizza guy go out and make about 35, 40 pizzas, and go out, take them and run the neighborhood.
Well,
now one thing we're doing here, okay, I can't believe nobody's pushing this, is that we live in a community. We've got 200 families, and one of the ladies is taking it on herself to go around and promote one restaurant or another, and say, okay, everybody order this, and we'll go, and one person will go pick it up, or they'll deliver it. The other night they had 35 or 40 meals delivered to Perry Park.
That's
And
awesome.
then last week we had 35 or 40 from another restaurant, and then like 3 days before that we had 35 or 40 from another restaurant.
Yeah,
And
you
they're all,
got. I think the problem is a lot of people have a hard time getting. I got kettle corn stuff all over me. That might have been a bad idea, but a lot of people have a hard time getting creative and thinking outside of the norm. It's like, I think one of the biggest problems I've seen in the last 5 to 10 years in corporate America and a lot of companies is the fact that all of their employees are forced to take the hour track to drive to downtown Cincinnati, work there, pay a lot of money for parking, and then drive back an hour. So they waste 2 or 3 hours a day traveling. They got parking money, they got gas. I think one of the things those companies are going to be faced with is the possibility that a large part of their workforce says, I'm not coming back. I'm not going to either come back and work in those conditions, or I'm not going to work in the office. I want to work from home, because they've just got more productive. They saw most people have never worked from home or working from home now. And I've had a lot of my friends say, man, I'm getting so much done at work, at home, and I get to see my kids in the morning and the afternoon. I don't got to drive everywhere. I'm saving money on gas, on parking. I'm not eating lunch as much out like I used to all the time downtown. That's another thing. A lot of businesses are going to have to adapt when things come back to the new norm.
Well, the other thing too is this. I think part of the reason why a lot of people aren't doing a lot of stuff is they haven't really adapted. The media has been created that panic button. They're sitting at home going, what's going to happen to me? What's going to happen to me? What's going to happen to me? Rather than creating some new ideas and doing some things differently and adapting. The ones that are going to be successful in this thing are the ones that are sitting home and they're figuring out new angles, new ways. I had a couple clients in the past week or two. Well, I've never been on Facebook. I said, well, get on Facebook. Well, I don't really want to. Well, hello.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, you got to do what you got to do. And I got that thing on top of my desk in my office that says, the successful people do what it takes to be successful. Yep. And so when the going gets tough, the tough get going. You think of new ideas. You think of new ways. I'll tell you what's going to happen. I agree with you. And that is this. There's going to be a lot of airplane travel not being traveled, because executives are going to start doing Zoom instead of flying to California to do a convention or do a webinar or do a meeting. They're going to do it over Zoom. You're sitting there looking at the same person, and you can see their facial expressions. It's just like being there.
I mean, don't get me wrong, there's a lot that can be accomplished one-to-one in person. It won't change my patterns on traveling the trips, because I travel for very specific reasons. But I do have a lot of friends that work in corporate America, and every Monday morning they fly to some city and they come back at Thursday every week. And I'm like, dude, a lot of the stuff they're doing can be done remotely. Maybe that trip every week is every other week or once a month.
I think that's where you're going to see a lot of change. I think you're going to see a lot of guys. The other thing happened is this. When we went through that thing in 08, one of the things that happened was when a lot of guys who worked for companies all of a sudden became entrepreneurs. Okay, all of a sudden became single person companies. I hate to say this, but a ton of guys started doing coaching for a while. They all of a sudden were coaches. They were terrible at it, but they were coaches till they found something. But you saw all these guys now becoming entrepreneurs, business people that were, now they went out and became. Now that's also when pyramiding companies, what do you call them?
MLMs.
Yeah, MLS all of a sudden became super popular because all these guys started doing MLS rather than working.
MLMs.
Yeah, LMNs. That's right. MLM, multi-level marketing. Hello.
You just said MLS, LMS. I got to keep you focused down there. Are you wearing the MP shirt?
Hell yeah. Always, baby. But I think that's part of the strategy. I mean, these people, they're sitting at home and they refuse to do Facebook or they refuse to do LinkedIn. And I get a lot of them go, I've never done anything live in my life. Well, guess what? Live's where it's at. I mean, because the people, you said this morning, People are scrolling through Facebook, and it's up. You saw me, it was last night. He said it's up like 75 or 80% or something like that. Okay, well, guess what? It's up that much. That means that everybody's on Facebook.
Yeah. Oh, it's up. I think I saw 600% is Facebook.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Screen times is 8 times, maybe higher. Might be 800 times higher than normal. I mean, there's so much opportunity right now. I look at a lot of my clients who work with, and I'm constantly giving them advice, and some of them take the advice a little, a lot, none, and I'm like, guys, you've got to adapt and adapt. Like I hear the same thing. Oh, I'm not on Facebook. I'm not on Instagram. I don't do video. I've never done a live video. I don't really like to highlight myself. I'm like, well, I guess it depends on where you want to be in 2 months.
How bad you want it?
Yeah, how bad you want it, where you want to be, how you want to get there. There you go. Teresa Martin says she's got her orange on today too.
Cha-ching, baby.
Job, Teresa.
Matter of fact, I saw, who was it?
I'll ask the question for people that are viewing. We got some viewers on different platforms here. What's something you've noticed that's been new in your atmosphere that you're doing now that you weren't doing then, that you might be like, wow, that's hard to give up? Like I mentioned, I've talked to a lot of my friends who, I've had the ability to work from home since, I guess technically since about 2001, 2002. I can work wherever I want to. Now we always have a location to work at, but I mean, now I've got my office downtown. I go to 3 days a week. I work from home 2 days a week. For, I guess, four years ago, before I had an office, I worked from my house 5 days a week, or clients' places. But I always controlled my time. I controlled where I was at. I always enjoyed being able to control it. That when Cole got off the school bus when he was a kid, and Paige got off the school bus, and I could be there. I liked controlling the time. Like Cole's got football this spring or this fall, and one of my goals is to end my work days at like 2:30 or 3, be able to go watch him work, do football, and then do an hour or two of work, then have dinner with the family. I think a lot of people, that's a norm that people now have kind of got spoiled with. And I wonder how many of them are like, hey, this is something that I'm not going to go back on. I want to try and keep this.
Well, of course, I was the same way. My whole life, I've always been self-employed, so I've always controlled my own schedule. So when I had our insurance business, okay, I sponsored baseball teams myself. I played golf during the week, and then the weekends I hung out with you guys. I was scoutmaster for a Boy Scout troop. We did all kinds of things together. So I guess in a way, I didn't really work from home because I had an office, but I was never in my office. I was always out and about, out networking, out talking to people, out doing whatever. I was just out, just was never in my office. And so consequently, this is, I've never really had an office. Always had an office, but I've never really worked out of an office. I couldn't do that, but on an 8-hour day, I'd go nuts.
You and me both. Okay.
But the thing is, the people got to do stuff. They got to get out of the box. They got to decide how bad you want it. And if you want it bad, then you got to think about some things that you haven't done before. And that's my topic on my webinar tomorrow. Is I sent a thing on the one restaurant and retail. Plan. What's your plans? What are you going to do? Are you going to hit the ground running, or are you going to be ahead of the game? As I tell you what, if you're doing that, it's like you said last night, you're gonna be way ahead of the curve, because everybody else is sitting home choking, they're messing around. Just they don't have much the hell to do.
I got to start talking to mom about what she's giving you caffeine wise on the daily basis. How much coffee are you drinking at home now?
Just the same as I always have.
Okay.
I've always been this way. You know that.
Yeah, here's what Chip says. Chip says working from home is driving me insane. Yeah, Chip, Chip's similar. He's an out and about guy. He's always been out with his restaurant, with his local magazines in different markets. So I could see where that's, for you, it's different. Plus, I think it all depends on what's at home and having kids. Me having kids a certain age, 15 and 17. I love it that Paige and Cole walk by, and Paige traditionally will walk in my office. I'll be in here on a webinar. She has no clue what I'm doing. She just knows I'm talking, which I do all the time. And she'll walk in here and she'll draw little comments on my white whiteboard. Sometimes it's inappropriate stuff to try and get me to laugh. Sometimes it's I love you. Sometimes it's hey, what's up? But I love that atmosphere and love having that. I think there's a lot of people that probably are, wish they had that more, and now they're getting the taste of it. But I think the big thing too, Dad, is just, I don't think there's going to be a ton changed. In 3 or 4 months, we'll look back. Yes, this happened, but things will be back to somewhat normal. But there's going to be things that changed in people's routines. One thing I told a restaurant owner the other day, I said, you got to think about it. The people that have been coming to Taco Tuesday here, that's been in their mind, hey, it's Taco Tuesday every day, every Tuesday at lunch, me and the crew leave the office and go down there. They haven't done it for 4 weeks, 5 weeks, maybe 6 weeks by the time it comes back around. You gotta do some things to rekindle that mindset and get them to think about that memory right now. Get them to rethink about it. Maybe figure out a way to Taco Tuesday at their house so that when it comes back around, they come back to your restaurant.
Another thing too is this: how long does it take to create a habit?
31 days.
27. Okay.
I thought I was right.
27. So guess what? Everybody's been home for at least 27 days. They're now created new habits. So now all of a sudden you're out there in another 2 or 3 weeks doing, it's unlocked and you're out there. All of a sudden you've created all these other habits. Now, how do you break the new habits?
Yeah.
So in other words, I've got some habits I've done, and all of a sudden I'm not going to stop doing that. It's like you just said. I'm at home. I'm used to doing this and that and the other thing. I've created new habits. I'm having coffee at a different place. I'm having coffee at my house. I'm brown bagging it, or I'm having food brought in, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. Hold on. Are you packing your lunch at your house? You're packing it in the kitchen and walk into the next room?
No, you're eating at home. That's what I'm saying.
Just
give me a break, buddy.
I'm picturing you getting up in the morning, walking in there with your coffee, making your little sandwich. I bet you probably still eat bologna. You eat bologna still?
Well, I've been making breakfast. My doctor says that if I eat sausage and eggs.
I was asking if you eat bologna for lunch.
Sure, of course.
Because I can just picture you with your spicy mustard and your wheat bread and
remember Bill at our store? They used to have fried bologna in the morning.
Yeah.
Jesus, he says, "What do you have for breakfast?" I have fried bologna every morning. I'm going, how in the hell can anybody eat fried bologna for breakfast? Hello.
Well, he's a good old boy. Okay,
big time.
I'm off here. I got calls the next 3 hours. I'm out of here, Dad.
Well, I got calls for the next 3 hours too, in my chair, watching TV.
Yeah, you trying to outdo me?
Well, by the way, I think we're probably having chili tonight. Ching, baby.
Thanks for the invite.
Oh, I don't remember getting invited to your barbecue last weekend when you had barbecue. Yeah, I didn't see Dad say, "Come on up, Dad, have the barbecue with me."
You and Mom are 140 years old. You guys need to be locked indoors.
All right.
See you guys. Love you, Mom. Love you, Dad.
Love you. Bye. Have a nice night.
You too. Bye.